All right. During the Biden administration, that housing market look like is definitely doing the highest prices that you have seen in the housing market. And the question is, a lot of people have: do you think that the housing market will make a downturn where the housing prices will go down? Well, a realtor here in Atlanta, well, a realtor in Atlanta, she said that the housing crisis did not start under Biden, did not start under Trump. It started actually under the Obama administration. Now, I'm gonna play her video right now, and then we're gonna read an article from 2019 that says that the Obama administration blew it. So let's go ahead and get into this video.
I've been seeing a lot of videos on Instagram and TikTok of people talking about the cost of housing being out of control, the cost of rent being out of control. Now, I'm all about the bullshit and the laughs and giggles, but check it. You're talking to a very accomplished real estate broker. I'm a broker in 17 states, and I actually represented Fannie Mae during this infamous real estate crash for the state of Georgia. The exact person that you can blame, if you want to blame somebody for the housing situation being messed up, I'll give you a hint. You probably got a bedazzled t-shirt with his face all over it. Now, it was Barack Obama. Now, am I a Republican? No. Am I a Trump supporter? No. But do I have information? Do I have firsthand accounts of what went on? Oh, yes, I do. So stay tuned. During the infamous housing crash, there was a thing called the Protecting Tenants Under Foreclosure Act. If you were in a property and you were renting it, you were able to stay in that property. If you were a homeowner and you lost a property, you were allowed to rent that property and be able to stay there, ironically, for about 2 or 3 years, so that you could get yourself together. So if you were one of the 8,000 homes, you probably had me come to the property and negotiate a rent with you and manage the property while you were there. Now, in a lot of instances, these tenants and sometimes these homeowners, after a year or two, were able to gather their finances and they were able to want to purchase the property. That sounds logical. So after about a few hundred offers would always be denied, I'm on a conference call and I ask and I inquire, why are we not allowing these people to buy their homes that they've been living in? Like, why are we doing that? You want to know what I was told? By Fannie Mae. I was told that they have direct instructions to not do that. And so do you want to know what happened sometime later? They were pooling these properties in pool sales, and you had to have between 10 and 50 million dollars in escrow in order to bid on a house that somebody was living in that was 60,000, even though that family were offering 60,000 cash to buy their home. But who would have that type of money, Summer? Who would have that type of money? Because it ain't nobody up here in the A. Oh, I'll tell you who had it because I represented them. China, South Africa, Australia, hedge funds from outside entities. I had no idea that America was for sale. And the Obama administration totally is the one that put it on the market. And I said, this is going to harm Americans. Like, why do you not want Americans to be able to buy this property at these low rates? And I also was told, because if you have a father who makes good money and his wife, the mother, makes good money, and they're not paying high prices for where they live, and they're saving money, and now they are opening businesses, and now the wife's not working, taking care of the family, it changes the dynamic and the course of how America is built, and we don't want that. So basically, you want people to stay in debt, and you want them to pay these exorbitant prices. This was all by design, y'all. By design. So anyone that listened to me during that time, think back, stitch this video. If you was one of them people, I told everybody, there is something up Will you please buy whatever property you can? I don't even care if you like the bitch. Buy it. I did the same thing. I bought a house for 100,000 and it's worth 415 today. It's not even the normal rate of inflation. So I was right that something was amiss. So ask yourself, did you know that about 30% of real estate is owned by outside entities? These hedge funds. The reason why you can't find a house is because they're coming in with 30, 40, 50,000 over asking price with cash, and you can't find a house. You never ask yourself, why did the housing market, why did a basic dusty ass trap house go from 100,000 to 300,000 overnight? You think that was an accident? And stop with the bullshit that the market's getting ready to go back. It's not going back, because before it was in our control. Now we got it's in big business control. The market's not going back. So if you missed knowing me during that time, I'm sorry. So again, you can thank the Obama administration for your high rent and your high housing prices, because once they bought it for 60,000 and the rent went from a one bedroom in Atlanta was around 800 and now it's 1,500, and some business owners in Australia and South Africa, you paying for their luxury. You could thank Obama for that. Okay, that was him. He was your color, but not your kind. Now, I voted for.
Okay, so let's read this article. This is from 2017, and it says the housing crash was an opportunity for America. Obama blew it. November 17, 2019. This is exactly 4 years ago. All right. So we're not going to read all of this, so we just want to touch on it. The Great Recession is more than a decade old, but Detroit and other communities are still struggling to recover from the housing crisis it precipitated. A new book by investigative journalist Aaron Glantz, Homewreckers: How a Gang of Wall Street Kingpins, Hedge Fund Magnates, crooked banks, and vulture capitalists suckered millions out of the homes and demolished the American dream. It explains how familiar figures like Steve Munchin and Wilbur Ross profited from the crisis in many ways that the Obama administration failed homeowners and communities. The adaptation that follows is just one glaring example. And basically, what it's saying, this is basically following up what she said. When the housing tsunami made landfall in 2008, it struck primarily people who had taken out bad loans from mortgage lenders such as IndyMac and AmeriQuest. Their loans featured high interest rates, incomprehensible terms, and balloon payments. When housing prices softened, these homeowners were unable to refinance out of the preparatory products and quickly faced foreclosure. In 2010, a second wave hit, jeopardizing the dream of home ownership for millions of Americans who were out of work. By then, more than 6 million people had been unemployed for more than 6 months, the highest number since the government began keeping records in 1948. In 2011, a million more Americans will lose their homes. Through all of this, the administration of Barack Obama, like George W. Bush's before him, did very little to stem the tide of foreclosures. Now, you see, I'm only reading this because this young lady was exactly right on what happened. It was the Obama administration that could have softened the blows for a lot of homeowners, and he did not. First, Congress passed a massive bank bailout that did little to help individual borrowers. The terms of the deals the federal government brokered afterward, like the sale of AnyMac to Steve Munchin's group of hedge fund managers, actually encouraged foreclosure. So we're going to stop there. We're going to stop there. Basically, this is a quick video, but what we see is that the lady wasn't wrong. The Obama administration, she says she put it on one person, but what I'm saying is he the face of that administration? So she wasn't wrong. Obama administration could have did more. And now that he's been out of office for going on 8 years now, because Trump did 4 years, and now Biden is coming. Well, I say 7 years. We are now still feeling the repercussions of what he did not do. Now, I know a lot of people thought that Obama was the great black hope, but actually, he really did little for the American people in a lot of different categories. He championed the mindset of the healthcare administration, where he did stop one thing, and that was where insurance companies could no longer drop you for pre-existing conditions. But the housing market is the highest it been ever. The average rented home is like $1,700, and minimum wage is still $7.25. Even though more companies are paying more than that, the average person on a minimum wage fare cannot afford, even at $10 an hour. The average person cannot afford to live, and that's why I have that thumbnail. Housing should be for everyone, right? You had migrants come in the country, and we're going to touch base on that. Migrants came in this country, and they were able to get housing, gift gift cards, and work visas. Go figure. And we're going to do a video on them very soon. How some migrants are already turned into they criminal behavior. So this is Antonio of Team Tiggio. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as we'll be coming to you another video very, very soon.